Good evening. Welcome to the UK Crime Book Club. Let's start that one again. Welcome to the UK Crime Book Club pub quiz, just not in a pub. Thanks for joining in tonight. I'm going to be going through, letting people get into the room. So we'll take a couple of minutes to get settled in. Then I'll explain the rules, explain what we're going to do and how it's going to go. And then we'll do the quiz. So let's give everyone a chance to appear. I can't quite see how many different people are in the room, but for those of you who are in the room, all you need to do is have a pen and a paper and be ready to answer the questions. It's all a bit of fun. So you just playing against yourselves, playing for your pride. So let's give everyone the chance. I can read your comments if you are commenting on the video. So do absolutely post stuff in there and I will do my best to keep up. I can see who's posting at the moment. That's good. I'm going to full screen it, so bear with me a second. Continue to enlarge. There we go. Yeah, brilliant. Excellent. So I can say hi, Brian. So Brian, just to answer your question, yeah, all you'd need to do is be in this room, be in this video feed, pen and paper, and in a couple of minutes we'll get going. So we'll just wait and see who else turns up. Good evening all. I hope you've all got a drink. I've got my beer. I hope everyone's having a lovely evening. The storms have stopped up here. Don't know what the weather's doing down wherever or up wherever you are, but it's definitely feeling like maybe we've got through what's been a weird old week weather-wise. It's been a bit stormy. So a couple more minutes. Hi Caroline. Hi Brian. Susan's in there. Looking forward to it. I hope we deliver. I hope we don't disappoint. So let's give it a couple more minutes, let everyone in, and then we'll get cracking. 6 rounds, if you want to get your paper ready. 5 questions in each round, that's 30 questions. Strangely, there's 34 points on offer today. But you'll understand that as we go through it. So I'll give everyone a couple more minutes to get in there. 6 of you so far. Let's hope for more. But we can go with 6. I appreciate the 6. Thank you very much. Does that include me? Maybe there's 5. But thank you anyway for coming, because this is the first one. And if it goes well, and those of you who do watch it afterwards, this is the great thing. You don't have to be here doing it live. You can watch this afterwards and still take part and still get all the enjoyment of the quiz. Hi, Samantha Brownlee. Saying hi, Ben there. Sam's been absolutely brilliant in setting this up. So everyone give her some praise. She's the technical genius behind this stream. So kudos there. Thank you, Sam. This wouldn't happen without you. Couple more minutes and then we'll get cracking. We're up to 8. Let's get double figures. Oh, we went down to 7. Let's get double figures. Come on. I want double figures. And then we'll get cracking. Let me know where you're all from as well. It'd be really great to get to know some of you. So when you're in the room, say hello, where you're from, what you're doing this evening, who you're playing with. Yeah, great to know. Don't trust the figures on the screen for numbers. Okay, Caroline, I won't. We're in the thousands. We're in the thousands. Right, 2 more minutes and we'll get going. Pen, paper at the ready. Round 1 will be literature. I don't know why I thought that'd be a good choice for a book club, but it's what we're going with. Hi, Steve. I hope you are looking forward to it. Hope we deliver more than anything. That's the thing, isn't it? You're all looking forward to it. I hope it goes well. Right, 2 more minutes and then I'll get started. Pens and papers at the ready. I said 2 minutes 2 minutes ago. Shall we start in a minute? Okay, we'll start in a minute. When the clock ticks to 5 past on mine, 5 minutes is long enough for latecomers, isn't it? That's plenty long enough. Weston-super-Mare. Lovely part of the world. Down on the coast there. For your sin, it can't be that bad, Brian. Surely. I don't know if you, I'm going to go non-league football geek here, but Mark McGregor was the manager of Weston-super-Mare, one of my all-time favourite Nuneaton Borough strikers, scored a wonderful goal against Stoke City in the FA Cup to carry out a giant killing. Yeah, he was the manager down at Weston-super-Mare for a while. I don't know if you go to watch Weston-super-Mare, Brian, but there you go. High R value. Well, yes, there's that too, isn't there? Nuneaton, where I'm from originally, is currently the subject of some high R values on Midlands today, that they're getting more cases of corona than they're expecting. A little bit of a hotspot, but I'm over the board now in Hinkley where it's safe. Okay then. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, shall we begin? It's 5 past now. That's enough time for people to get in. So we're going to start round 1, which is literature. Hope everyone can hear me nicely. So question 1, round 1. Flaggermusmannen was the debut novel by which author? So those of you who didn't hear it the first time, Flaggermusmannen was the debut novel by which author? Now, at the end of the round, Caroline's going to post all the questions from the round again. So don't worry if you miss them, or the sound breaks up, or you just can't hear my unintelligible drawl. It will all be there for you at the end, so you're not going to miss out. In Leeds, Caroline. I like Leeds. Leeds is a great city. I did a couple of stints up there making a blue light documentary, and it's a wonderful city. Yeah, a lot of fun. Not a fan of the football club, but I love the city. Not everything I know about geography is related to football, just most of it. Question 2 then. Which author won the 2019 Thickster's Old Peculiar Crime Novel of the Year for 13? That's the year 2019, and the book was 13. Cross those over. So once again, question 2. Which author won the 2019 Thickster's Old Peculiar Crime Novel of the Year for 13? That's question 2. Question 3. Keeping on the theme of crime literature, strangely enough, Joe Blackmore, the protagonist of Callie Taylor's The Escape, suffers from which condition? It's a great book. Sorry if you haven't read it, because you kind of need to know it, or do you? Maybe you could have an intelligent guess. It's a little nerve strainer there. So question 3 again. Joe Blackmore, the protagonist of Callie Taylor's The Escape, suffers from which condition? I hope everyone's getting the sound coming through nicely. No one's complaining yet. That's always a good start. If anyone's got a team name this evening, that'd be great to know. See if anyone's gone for anything entertaining. Question 4 in literature. Captain Sam Wyndham is the main character in a series of novels written by which author? If anything starts fluttering around behind me with lots of cocoons for the kids, some butterflies waiting to hatch, so don't be alarmed. I don't think they're coming just yet. They don't look like they are, but just in case. I don't know how quickly they take to hatch. It's the first time. A stressful experience moving them. Question 4 again. Captain Sam Wyndham is the main character in a series of novels by which author? Yeah, they come in little pots, and they attach themselves to the lid of the pot, and they dangle down. You have to take the lid off the pot and pop it and stand it upright so they can hatch properly. But when you're trying to pull the lid of the pot off, it's really jammed on. So you're like, trying to put it without these things dropping off. I had to defer. I couldn't do it. I had to let the wife do it because I have not got the delicate touch. It was quite a stressful thing. Apparently, it'll be worth it. Question 5. Ian Fleming, best known as the author of James Bond, also wrote which children's novel, which went on to become a much-loved film? Good pub quiz question, that one. Which is helpful because it's a pub quiz. Oh, dear. Oh, they take ages, do they? We've had them, what have we had them now? 2.5 weeks. They came as caterpillars, so they're getting bigger and then turned into the chrysalises and cocoons. When you move them, they start wiggling around. They start freaking out, and that's really disconcerting. It was a fun old experience. Right, question 5 again. Ian Fleming, best known as the author of James Bond, also wrote which children's novel, which was turned into a much-loved film? That is round one in the bag. Caroline is going to post the answers there. Sam's posted the answers. Getting my moderators mixed up. Sam's already posted the questions, not the answers. The answers will come later, but you already know all the answers, didn't you? So you're not going to need them. So that's round one in the bag. I'll give everyone a couple of moments in case they need to read through the questions. They're all there. Yeah, lovely. At the end of the quiz, if you've enjoyed it, please let me know. And also, if you found it too hard, too easy, you know, if there's any themes that you would like to see us do in future quizzes, do let me know, because it'd be good to make this a regular thing. It'd be good to keep coming back and doing this. So yeah, please let me know any feedback. Constructive criticism, always great, and I'm certainly not too proud to take it. So yeah, definitely always good to hear what people think. Hopefully you're all enjoying it. Right then, that seemed to go fairly painlessly. Should we do round two? Giving everyone time to go through round one. Round two then is history. So give you a moment to get ready. And again, with the theme of this week's quiz, everything is to do with crime, specifically in this case, murder. Because it is the Crime Book Club. So yeah, question two is history, all about murders from history. So if you know your bloody history, then this could be a great round for you. And if not, well, maybe you'll learn something. We'll start off with a nice, easy one. Question one. Whose murder is credited as being the cause of World War I? Question one again. Whose murder is credited as being the cause of World War I? Excellent. Now, question two. It'll be tricky here. Richard Dadd, the Victorian artist known for his works featuring fairies and other supernatural creatures, also became convinced he was possessed by an Egyptian god and then killed his father. He painted the majority of his most famous works while being detained at which famous asylums? There are two, and you can get a point for each. See, I told you this is where all the points will start racking up. So yeah, that question again. Richard Dadd, Victorian artist, famed for his work featuring fairies and other supernatural creatures, also became convinced he was possessed by an Egyptian god and then killed his father. He painted most of his famous paintings in which two famous asylums? Point for each. So if you only know one, brilliant, just a point. If you know both, two. And let's move on to question three. 4 points on offer for question three. This is a big one. Name the 4 US presidents to have been assassinated, and it's a point for each one. So 4 US presidents, unless I've missed any big news today, 4 US presidents have been assassinated. Name them. I don't think I've missed that big news. We don't talk politics in this crew, do we? And that's a good thing, especially at the moment. It could all descend very quickly into arguments and slanging matches. So I'm not going to go there. So question three again. Round two, question three. Name the 4 US presidents who have been assassinated, and it's a point for each one. I think everyone should get at least 2 points there then. Question 4. Staying on the politically motivated theme, Alexander Litvinenko was allegedly, and I say allegedly just in case Vlad is listening, allegedly killed by the Russian Secret Service in London. But what was it that was secreted into his tea that finished him off? That's question 4 again then. Alexander Litvinenko, famously murdered, allegedly, by Russian secret services, allegedly, in London. Definitely, there was no alleged about that. But what was it that was secreted into his tea that finished him off? I don't think there are any Russian bots in the UK Crime Book Club group. Not noticed any. Ah, Sam, you've got more than that, I know. Fiendish. Perhaps I've overset this one. Perhaps I've overdone it this week. So question 5 in the history round. Who was shot at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis on April the 4th, 1968? It's a famous one. It's a famous one. Think about your motel shootings. I'm trying to give help now because obviously people are always fiendish. Caroline teaches the subject. Excellent. What particular subject do you teach? Would it be chemistry that you teach, Caroline? I'll try chemistry or geopolitical relationships. One of the two. Certainly not diplomacy, if that's the measure you're going to. Question 5 again in round 2. Last question in round 2. Who was shot at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, April the 4th, 1968? And that, ladies and gentlemen, round 2 is history. It's also history. Sorry. Biology. Biology. Okay. Doing better in history than lit. Well done, Steve. Don't put the answers, Diane. No. Write them down on a pen and paper. Don't share them in the group. Not to worry. Probably should have explained that. My bad. Thank you for watching, though. But yes, don't share them in the group. We'll go for all the answers at the very end. Give everyone a chance to play along. Right, round 3, when it comes along, is music. I'm going to sing. No, I'm not really. Oh, no one needs that. Again, music questions, all related around the theme of murder. Some loosely. It's music. It's not so easy to segue the theme in there. Right, so I'll give everyone a couple more moments to go through the questions. The best thing about Sam posting up the questions is I've given him my script so you can see where I've sort of pre-written my bumbling commentary at times. Yes. I'm not doing this off the cuff all the time. Some of it I've had to think hard to try and get a laugh. Yeah, sorry about that. It's my first time. Shall we go on to round 3, music? Hope you enjoy yourself, by the way, guys. Yeah, I am. I've got 2 kids, aged 3 and 5, so I'm very used to talking to people and not being sure if anyone's actually listening. This is nothing new. Round 3 is music. And question 1 in the music round. Who originally wrote the Beach Boys track, Never Learn Not to Love? I should have put a Warren G question in, shouldn't I? Just for a bit of same self-publicity. But no, I've avoided doing anything regulators-y based for this. But yeah, it's a good track, that. I wish it sort of fitted more with the theme of the book. I do like to make playlists when I do write. And the second book I actually created a playlist on Spotify. I'll probably do the same with book 3, sort of something to listen along to. I think music is an essential part of the creative process. So yeah, I do love music. It's great. And yeah, future projects will be even more focused around music, which Should be fun. Loving it so far. Thank you, Susan. Oh, Susan, I'm sure you're doing excellently. Again, if I have set the questions a bit too hard for people this time around, do let me know and we can make it easier. Or maybe you like it hard and you like the challenge. I don't know. It's really important to get your feedback, because if we're going to do this on a regular thing, I want it to be something everyone enjoys and wants to come back to. So that only happens if I listen to you guys. So question 1 again. Who originally wrote the Beach Boys track Never Learn Not to Love? I just got a cover version of that on a vinyl EP by a band called the Psychic Hills, who were one of my all-time favourite bands. A little bit of a hidden discovery of the fan, but unfortunately, the lead singer passed away just after that EP was done, which is, yeah, real shame. But check them out. Psychic Hills, a really cool sort of down-tempo Americana sounding band, and they did a cover version of Never Learn Not to Love on their last EP, and it's exceptional. Question 2. I did say some of these were tenuous. Jamie Hotel Hintz, former husband of Kate Moss, is one half of which band? Good band, very good band. Saw them at Glastonbury 2011. I think it was 2011. I was meant to be going to Glastonbury next weekend. Obviously, Corona killed that one. And I'm still strangely obsessed with what the weather's going to do. Even though I'm not going, I'm not sure if I want it to be sunny and nice or if I want it to chuck it down and rain. I don't know. But I can't stop looking at the weather next weekend going, oh yeah, I'd be putting up my tent in the sun. 27 degrees on Wednesday, which would be really good, because if you're going to Glastonbury, go down on the Wednesday, spend the Wednesday down there before it gets packed, and do things that are not music related, because that's really what Glastonbury's about. It's not about the music so much about the lifestyle, and it's incredible. Question 2 again. Jamie Hotel Hintz, former husband of Kate Moss, is one half of which band? Question 3 is probably a little trickier, but it's a good one. Which Italian prince and composer is equally well known for his madrigals and sacre canciones, as he is for killing his wife and her lover? I told you it was murder-based. Apologies to any Italian speakers for me butchering madrigal and sacre canciones. Maybe that's right. I don't know why I did the accent. It's not good, is it? It's not a good look. Question 3 again. Which Italian composer and prince is equally well known for his madrigals and sacre canciones, as he is for killing his wife and her lover? And we'll delve into that when we go through the answers, because it's a good story. Question 4, and I think question 4 is a bit of a gimme. Who is the record producer famed for his wall of sound and also murdering Lana Clarkson? You got to get question 4. Maybe. Yeah, he's famous. He's massively famous. And before my time. And so question 4 again. Who is the record producer famed for his wall of sound and also for murdering Lana Clarkson? I think he's probably more famous for his wall of sound even now, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Once you've killed someone, really, you should be more famous for that. But he worked with some big bands back in the day, and yeah, pioneering and also insane. Question 5 coming up. And question 5, tenuous one again. Which band released the album Murder Ballads? Another band I've seen at Glastonbury, actually. It's great, Glastonbury. That was the same in 2011. Yeah, main stage 2011. Excellent band. Excellent. So again, question 5. Which band released the album Murder Ballads? Now, if you've been stalking me and you know when I went to Glastonbury and what I saw at Glastonbury, you might have a clue for the answer. It's not really a clue, is it? No, not even slightly. But yes, which band released the album Murder Ballads? And that is the end of round 3. Sam, I'm sure, will be posting the questions up in a moment. If you've missed any, you can hopefully understand what I'm saying and hear what I'm saying. Apologies for my mumble, slur, anything like that. Shouldn't slur just yet. This is the first bit. Round 4's coming up. There might be some groans. This is a round that a lot of people groan at. It's sport. Sport. But, of course, it's sport and murder. Are they all murder? Yeah, sort of. Sport and murder / crime fiction. Yeah. I'll give you a moment to just fly through any questions you might have missed on round 3. I've lost all the numbers now, so I can't see how many people are watching. I guess some people are. Again, 3-year-old and 5-year-old, I am used to talking to myself. Shall we go on with round 4? Are we all caught up? Excellent. Round 4 is sport. Orenthal James Simpson, also known as OJ Simpson, is also known by which nickname? See, sport and alleged murder. In the case of a civil finding, murder. In the case of a criminal finding, not murder. Society judged there, didn't they? Society judged there. So once more, Orenthal James Simpson, also known as OJ Simpson, is also known by which nickname? I've got my laptop running next to me so I can see the comments as they come through, which is great. It's really helpful. But also it's got my mug in the grill, and there's a bit of a delay, so I'm watching myself 15-20 seconds ago. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. Question 2 in sport. Colombian international defender Andres Escobar was killed for doing what at a game in the 1994 World Cup? Hey, well done, Caroline. The sports round, yeah, it's one of those rounds, isn't it? You either love it or you don't. It's sports, you either love or you don't. I think you're either one way or the other. I've tried to make them things that people would know. So once again, question 2. Colombian international Andres Escobar was killed for doing what at a game in the 1994 World Cup? Now, I think really, if you don't know this one, you can sort of break it down into 3 possible answers. The things that you could do at a game that might get you killed. Yeah, I think there's probably 3 things you could logically say. Yeah, that'd cross a line, wouldn't it? So, yeah, take a guess. Question 3, crime literature and sport this time. Which crime writer saw his hopes of playing for Tottenham dashed when he injured his cruciate ligament while playing for Molde? If I tell you the country where Molde are based, is that just giving you the answer? Yeah. How nice I'm feeling. I've got to make sure I know what country it is. Yeah, I do. Yeah, okay. So I risk looking stupid there. Let's think. Because what if I've got it wrong? Which crime writer saw his hopes of playing for Tottenham dashed when he injured his cruciate ligament for playing whilst playing for Molde of Norway. Trying to help. I want you all to get great scores. Have a great time. Come back next time. That's what I want. What I really want. That and Bradley Walsh's job. Question 4, crime literature again. And I think you can, if you don't know this one, I think an educated guess will get you there. Which sport is the subject of crime novels Nerve, Whip Hand, and Under Orders by Dick Francis? Have a think about those titles. I think you'll get there on that one. Even if you never read the books, I think you'll get there on that one. Definitely. So question 4 again. Which sport is the subject of the crime novels Nerve, Whip Hand, and Under Orders by Dick Francis? Definitely. Think of the titles, you'll get there. There's a point. Gimme. How are we doing for time? We're cracking on nicely here. Lovely. Question 5 then in the sport round. Aaron Hernandez, the American footballer found guilty of the murder of Odin Lloyd, was a tight end for which team? I do love the American football. It's fast become my favourite sport on the planet. It's incredible. I know it's probably an acquired taste. So shall I give you a clue on this one as well? I think I will. Of a fashion. Aaron Hernandez, the American footballer found guilty of the murder of Odin Lloyd, was a tight end for which team? Now, they're probably the second most hated team in the American Football League in the NFL. Dallas Cowboys, obviously, being the most hated team, especially by me. Go Eagles! But no, this is a team that is universally disliked, mainly for their success. So, trying to steer those of you who don't know the game because it is an acquired taste. And that's the sport round. Hopefully that was painless for those of you who aren't sport fans. What's a tight end? Good question, Brian. A tight end is one of the receiving positions. It's usually a sort of stocky guy, a little bit bigger than a wide receiver, a bit meatier, and he's also has to do a lot of blocking, and he'll probably come for the shorter balls as opposed to the deep balls. Although in the game nowadays they tend to go a little bit deeper. Big 6 foot plus guys who can reach up and grab and bully the opposing cornerbacks or safeties out of the way. Yeah, that's a tight end. And this guy definitely was a physical guy. Yeah, we'll talk about Aaron Hernandez shortly in the answers. Yeah, did some bad stuff. That one's too easy, says Steve. Excellent. Loving the confidence. Love it. I'm just going to quickly get another drink. Back in a second. I ain't my farts go. Oh, I'm only here. You didn't have to miss me for long. Round 5 is going to be film and TV. And we'll be dealing with murder within film and TV. Some of it fictional. Some of it not so fictional. Some of it straddling the line. So if everyone's had a moment with the questions and all caught up, we shall move on to round 5 once I've poured this beer. It's a pub quiz. Oakley dokley. Round 5, film and TV. Question 1. Cabot Cove was named as the murder capital of the world in 2012, but which TV show is it famous for being the home of? Cabot Cove is definitely one of those lovely idyllic place names where TV shows just love to set a murder. It's got to be somewhere. It's got to be somewhere absolutely, picture postcard for you to go and absolutely desecrated by a murder, or in this case, countless murders. Apparently more than Midsummer. Wow. So maybe think about long-running TV shows. You're not sure. So question 1, film and TV. Cabot Cove was named the murder capital of the world in 2012. But which TV show is it famous for being home of? Sam Brownlee mentioned it in the interview yesterday. Yeah. So if you've been paying attention, been watching all the videos, you've got the answer. And if you didn't get the answer, you could need to watch some more videos of the UK Crime Book Club. Why not? Question 2, less fictional this time. Who was the prime focus of the Netflix documentary Making a Murderer? Looks like I'm drinking a cocktail, doesn't it? But it's just one of these hazy New England IPAs that are all the rage at the minute and absolutely incredible. Do love them. Your favourite TV sleuth? Oh, I'm dropping you the questions there just for you, Sam. So question 2 again. Who was the prime focus of the Netflix documentary Making a Murderer? As in, who was the main character that they were looking at? Question 3. Robert Downey Jr. played a hapless thief who's mistaken for an actor and then witnesses a murder alongside Val Kilmer in which 2005 homage to film noir. Also starring, is it Michelle Monaghan? It is, isn't it? Yes, Michelle Monaghan. It's a really good film. Sort of marked the comeback of Downey Jr. as well, I think, before he ended up becoming Iron Man. And really marked his return then, didn't he? So question 3 again. Robert Downey Jr. played a hapless thief who was mistaken for an actor and then witnesses a murder alongside Val Kilmer, in which 2005 homage to film noir. That's question 3 there. Question 4. According to the Guinness World Book of Records, I'm not going to argue them, which was the first murder shown on TV? And by first murder, I mean real murder, not fictional. So this is real murder. So according to the Guinness Book of Records, which was the first real murder shown on TV? Can't be many. Surprised me, actually, this one. Because, shush Ben. That's question 4. And question 5, the last question in round 5. Marion Crane was a victim at the hands of which serial killer? This is a fictional one again. Marion Crane was a victim at the hands of which serial killer? And that's your film and TV. I'll repeat that one in a moment. Give you a second. Question 5 again. Marion Crane was a victim at the hands of which serial killer? And yes, that is round 5. Give you all a moment to catch up. The questions have just gone up into the chat, I can see. So you can have a look there, and if there's any you've missed, you can have a go there. Yeah, no, I'll bite my tongue on that one. Question 4. Third needs more discussion. but we'll come back to it. Round 6 is just general knowledge. So they're questions about murder, crime, serial killers, the like, but they're just general questions. Perhaps could have gone in other rounds and ended up banged into the end of the quiz. I'll give everyone a couple of moments. Hopefully you've all caught up if there's any missed out on. Yes, so right then, round 6, general knowledge. John Cooper earned the nickname the game show serial killer after appearing on which TV quiz show in 1989? Well, they could have gone in the round previously, but he didn't. Here it is in general knowledge. Famous story, this one. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. Round 6 again. Question 1. John Cooper earned the nickname the game show serial killer after appearing on which TV show in 1989? There we go. Question 2 coming up. Question 2. Dennis Rader was better known as the BTK killer. But what did BTK stand for? Not a sandwich. That's BLT. So Dennis Rader was better known as the BTK killer, but what did BTK stand for? Question 3. One of my favourite questions in the quiz, this one. My favourite answers. The soap maker of Correggio, Leonardo Cianculi, apologies if I got the name wrong, killed 3 women between 1939 and 1940 and offered them up as sacrifices to what end? You can't beat a bit of sacrificial killing, can you? There's not a lot of that these days. Yeah, crazy. The soap maker of Correggio, Leonardo Cianculi, killed 3 women in 1939 and 1940 and offered them up as sacrifices to which end? Apologies if I got the name wrong. Leonardo Cianculi. Cianculi? Could be Cianculi. The actual words will be coming up soon. If that helps you in any way, shape or form, get past my terrible pronunciation. I apologise. I'm doing my best. I didn't study Italian. I barely studied English. That's question 3 in general knowledge. Question 4 coming up. According to the Florida Gulf Coast University, which European nation has the most serial killers? I don't know what happened to my voice there and what accent that was. It just happened. So question 4 again. According to the Florida Gulf Coast University, which European nation has the most serial killers? I can't say coast without Gulf Coast without a weird accent coming up. It's a bit strange. I say it's a sociopathic tendency, don't they, where you mimic accents and things. Oh dear. I'm also talking to myself, so embrace it, I suppose. That's question 4. Question 5. Last question. Ooh, what a milestone. What was the shocking twist at the end of the investigation into the Phantom of Hellebrom, a supposed female serial killer who's in the frame for multitudes of crimes, including burglary and murder? Shocking twist sounds like a blurb at the end of a book, doesn't it? Should have come up with a better phrase. I hate writing blurbs at the end of my books. That's the one thing out of the whole process of writing a book that I detest the most is writing the blurb. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Trying to sell anything is just not for me. And trying to sell a book in 2 paragraphs. Ugh. So if anyone wants to write a blurb for me, I'll pay you. Honestly, I hate it. It's makes my skin crawl doing it every time. Question 5 again. What was the shocking twist at the end of the investigation into the Phantom of Helibron, a supposed female serial killer who was in the frame for a multitude of crimes, including burglary and murder? And there you go. Look, oh, video's gone down. No way. Can you see me? It's coming up this end. I'm live this end. Am I still there, Brian? Am I still there, anyone? Can anyone see me? Anyone see me? Yeah, I'm definitely still live this end. I can see. Great. Excellent. Oh, Brian, hope you get it sorted, mate. Hurry back. Let us know if you catch up. We'll just wait a minute for Brian, and I'll double check that he's seen all the questions before we go into the answers. No man left behind. Cool. So everyone else seems to be. So hopefully Brian gets it fixed. We'll just wait and see. Let us know if you're back, Brian. We're waiting for you, mate. Yeah, good man. Excellent. Did you miss any questions, Brian? Let us know. They are in the chat, so you can catch them there. But let me know if you would like any repeating, and I'll give everyone a couple of minutes to get sorted, and then we're on to the answers. I hope they're right. Yes, hope they're right. If anyone thinks I've got anything wrong, do let me know. Really hope I haven't, because I spent a lot of time researching this. And we can always discuss points. 34 points on offer then. The last one, Brian, of course, mate. So once more, the last question in the quiz, which was question 5, round 6, general knowledge. What was the shocking twist at the end of the investigation into the Phantom of Helibron, a supposed female serial killer who was in the frame for a multitude of crimes, including burglary and murder? Just give you all a second, and then we'll crack on with the answers. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's been fun. $34 points to play for. And the answers are coming right up. It's long enough. It's long enough. Right, question 1. Let me get my questions and my answers. Yeah, we go. Yes. So, Flagger Musmanen was the debut novel by which author? Was, of course, Jo Nesbø. Flagger Musmanen, I hope I've said that right. Translated, of course, it's The Bat, is how it's translated. So, Jo Nesbø. So, all right, Chris, just start the video from the beginning. Watch it from the beginning, and you can join in from there and start it as you want. All you need is pen and paper. You don't need to be doing it live. It's all good. So you've missed nothing, Chris. You can go back and enjoy every painful minute of my doing a quiz. It's been fine. It's been great. So question 2, the answer to question 2. Question 2 was, which author won the 2019 Theakston's Old Peculiar Crime Novel of the Year for their book 13? It was Steve Kavanagh, the Belfast-born author, previously a lawyer. And now an author. Yeah. Smart guy, clearly. Question 3. Joe Blackmore, the protagonist of Callie Taylor's The Escape, suffered from agoraphobia, which of course is the fear of being in a situation from which there is no escape. So I said there was a clue in the title, or something along those lines, yeah. And question 4, Captain Sam Windham was the lead character in a series of novels written by Abir Mukherjee. They are absolutely brilliant novels set in the in India during the Raj era. Well worth a read, especially now when a lot of the discourse at the moment is looking back at the colonial attitudes of Britain in the past and re-examining that history. So I seriously recommend those. And then question 5, Ian Fleming, best known as the author of Bond, but he also, of course, wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the novel which was adapted loosely into the film starring Dick Van Dyke, and the screenplay was written in part by Roald Dahl, which probably explains the way it did, as opposed to the book version, which was a bit more, I think, gangsters and so forth in, as opposed to like the Child Snatcher, if I remember rightly. So that's round 1, 5 points off there. Round 2 is history. Whose murder is credited as being the cause of World War I? It was the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, not to be confused with the band Franz Ferdinand, obviously. They're not bad, but I don't think it's worth an international conflict over their deaths. So Archduke Franz Ferdinand was the answer we were looking for whose murder caused World War I. Question 2. Richard Dad, the Victorian artist, thought he was possessed by an Egyptian god, painted fairies and creatures, killed his dad. He was interred in Bedlam or Bethlem and Broadmoor while he was doing most of his famous work. So a point for each. People thought he had heat stroke, as opposed to actually he had schizophrenia. I think most of his siblings also suffered from some form of mental illness. He tried to escape to Paris and then attacked some passengers on a ferry with a razor and was overpowered, and that's when he was arrested. And yes, interred at Bedlam or Bethlem and Broadmoor. So they were the 2 hospitals I was looking at, or asylums. Point for each. Question 3, name the 4 US presidents assassinated. 4 points an offer, no points for getting them in order. Obviously, Lincoln was first. James A. Garfield was the second. Took 11 weeks to die after being shot. All sorts of medical blunders were going on there before he eventually succumbed to his injuries. Third up, William McKinley in 1901. He was shot in the stomach and died of gangrene, which no doubt was as painful as it sounds. And finally, of course, JFK, killed by Lee Harvey Oswald or the CIA, depending on who you believe. Question 4, Alexander Litvinenko, allegedly, again, killed by Russian secret services. The material I was looking for was polonium that was secreted in his teeth. I'll give you half a point if you said a radioactive substance, because I'm feeling really generous. So polonium was the answer, but half a point for radioactive substance. Question 5, who was shot at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis? It was, of course, Martin Luther King, 50 plus years on. We've not gone that far, sadly. We'll get there, though. We will get there. So that was round 2. A lot of points on offer there. 9, in fact, was it? Yeah, 9 points on offer. Round 4 was sport. No, sorry, round 3. I need to do that. Music. My bad. Round 3, music. Who originally wrote the Beach Boys track "Never Learn Not to Love"? I said he was all about murderers, so maybe you would have worked out it was someone who was a bit murdery. Charlie Manson actually wrote "Never Learn Not to Love." The track was originally called "Cease to Exist" before the Beach Boys changed it up a wee bit. Yeah, so before he was, before he became, well, as he was becoming the head of the Manson family, he was friends with Brian Wilson and obviously a folk singer of his own accord. And yeah, he wrote that track for them. Question 2. Oh, Polonium. Oh, Brian, love it. Polonium 210. You can have an extra half a point for giving me the atomic number at the end. Top man. Question 2. Who was the band that Jamie Hotel Hint's former husband of Kate Moss was a part of? Tenuous, I told you. It's the Kills. It's very tenuous. Jamie Hinton, Alison V.V. Mosshart. You can see what it did there. It's tenuous. Question 3. The Italian prince and composer killed his wife and lover. did some very famous madrigals and sacre canciones, which, let's be honest, I'm sure none of us knew about. It was Carlo Gesualdo. His wife and her lover have been carrying on for a number of years. News finally reached him. So he arranged to go out on a hunting trip. As soon as he went, his wife sent a message to her lover, Instagram or something, I'm sure, and he came round to the castle. But Gesualdo hadn't gone on a hunting trip. No, he set a trap and he snuck in and caught me il fragante and butchered them there and then. Took the bodies outside and mutilated them in front of the palace where he was the prince. And because he was a nobleman, he was found not to have committed a crime. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, so he just carried on with his normal life because he was a nobleman and therefore couldn't have committed a crime. Madness. Question 4, the record producer, famed for his wall of sound and also killing Lana Clarkson, was Phil Spector, now doing 19 to Life. And question 5, the band releasing the album, the absolutely brilliant, the band released the album Murder Ballads, the absolutely brilliant Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Was it Dennis Wilson, Steve, not Brian Wilson? I thought it was Brian. Well, Manson was what we were looking for, so I can be wrong on that bit and still be all right. 4, sport. Oren Fowl, James Simpson, OJ Simpson, The Juice was the nickname we were looking for. The Juice. Did he do it? Did he not do it? Will we ever know? Question 2. Colombian international defender Andres Escobar was killed for doing what at the game of the 1994 World Cup? There's only really a couple of things it could be, weren't there? You know, red card, missing an open goal, or what he actually did do, which was scoring an own goal. Yeah, Andres Escobar killed for scoring an own goal. He was killed by a chap called Humberto Castro Munoz. No relation, Steve, no, I hope. A driver for Santiago Galan, a drug trafficker who put a load of money on the game and lost the money on the game when Colombia lost 2-1 to the USA, thanks to the own goal. So Escobar got a shot. There you go. Question 3. Which crime writer saw his hopes of playing for Tottenham dashed when he injured his cruciate ligament whilst playing for Mulder? Is that man Joe Nesbo again? Yeah, after making his Mulder debut at 17, he got injured at 18, and the World of Football's loss was the literary world's gain. And let's be honest, playing for Tottenham, it's a low bar, mate. He's gone much further in crime fiction than he ever would have done with Tottenham. So, you know, count your blessings. Count your blessings, Joe. Number 4, which sport is the subject of crime novels Nerve, Whip Hand and Under Orders by Dick Francis. I think you can get it from the titles. It's horse racing. Dick Francis, of course, was a famous steeple jockey. Most of his books, crime and elsewhere, were about horses in one respect or another. And finally, Aaron Hernandez, the American footballer found guilty of the murder of Odin Lloyd, was a tight end for which team? It's the New England Patriots. He was also acquitted of the murder of 2 other men a few days before he hung himself. Yeah, he died in prison, and he hung himself a couple of days after finding out he'd been acquitted for their murders. And it was a litany of other things that he'd been allegedly involved in, shooting another guy in the face and so forth. Quite a checkered life, shall we say. Question 5, film and TV. The answer that Sam clearly knows to question 1, Cabot Cove, the murder capital of the world, was the base of Murder, She Wrote, Jessica Fletcher's hometown. If it were a real place, it'd have a higher murder rate than Honduras, which is crazy. But yeah, Jessica Fletcher. Question 2, who's the prime focus of the Netflix documentary Making a Murder? Stephen Avery. It did, of course, focus on his nephew, Brendan Dassey, but Stephen Avery was the main character and the guy I was looking for. Question 3, Robert Downey Jr. playing the hapless thief turned actor turned witness to a murder alongside Val Kilmer in the noir homage, the thoroughly enjoyable Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Excellent film, well worth a watch. Great humour, really knows what it is. Yeah, absolutely recommend that. One of those ones that sort of flew under the radar at the time a little bit, but if you've not seen it, dig it out, have a watch. Question 4, according to the Guinness World Book of Records, and I'm going to discuss this week because I'm really not sure, what was the first murder shown on TV? It was, making his second appearance in our list, Lee Harvey Oswald being murdered by Jack Ruby. That was the first murder shown on TV. I'm really surprised that JFK wasn't, but according to Guinness, no, it was Lee Harvey Oswald. There you go. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, how? But yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald was what I'm looking for there. And finally, question 5, Marion Crane, a victim at the hands of which killer? A lot of us will probably know it's a scene that I'm sure we've all seen. We've all seen this this character die, but we often refer to it as the actress's name, Janet Leigh, who of course played Marion Crane in Psycho, meet her demise at the hands of Norman Bates in Psycho. So yes, but yeah, it's strange how we always refer to her as Janet Leigh as opposed to the character. Janet, obviously, yeah, seems to have exceeded Marion Crane. Maybe because Marion Crane's a really flawed character in the film, which is what makes the film so interesting. One of the many things that makes the film so interesting. It's a great film. Round 6 then, general knowledge. John Cooper earned the nickname the game show serial killer after appearing on which TV quiz show in 1989? He appeared on Bullseye. In May 1989, he recorded an episode of Bullseye. In between carrying out 2 double murders. The second one he carried out only a month later. 2 double murders in Pembrokeshire and Wales. Full life sentence followed, no parole. That's him gone. Question 2, Dennis Rader, better known as the BTK serial killer, but what did BTK stand for? Bind, torture, and kill. A charming name. He made even more endearing when you realise that Dennis Rader gave it to himself. That's got to be the sign of even being a sociopath or a psychopath when you give yourself a nickname. And by the way, you don't have to call me Ben, just call me Brucey. But no, yeah. Bind, torture, kill, but yeah, he came up with that himself. Question 3, the site maker of Tregia, Leonardo Ciancudi, killed 3 women in 1939 and 1940 and sacrificed them so that her son Giuseppe would survive World War II. There's a bit of a clue there in the dates. Yeah, her son Giuseppe was one of 17 pregnancies that she had, 3 of which were miscarried, 10 of which died in infancy. So she was left with 4 children. And he said, I'm signing up to go off the war. A fortune teller had told her that all her children would die before they were too old. So she decided the only thing to do was to sacrifice 3 women to ensure Giuseppe survived the war. And Giuseppe survived the war. Don't take that as a reason to start killing and sacrificing people, please. Just because no, it doesn't work. Coincidence. Number 4, according to the Florida Gulf Coast University, which European nation has the most serial killers? It's England. Because I couldn't really word it in a way that allowed for me to distinguish between England and the United Kingdom. If you put the UK, I will accept, and you'll get a point for that. If you put Great Britain, no, because that's an island, or Britain, no, that's an island. That's not a nation. So yes, England is the nation on its own, but obviously you can combine it into the United Kingdom. It's still not going. It's not going down, is it? So yes, England. The only other country in the world with more serial killers is the United States, unsurprisingly. And finally, what was the shocking twist in the case of the Phantom of Helibron, supposed female serial killer? She didn't exist. There was no supposed female serial killer. What actually happened was that the cotton buds that they used for the DNA had been contaminated by a female worker at the factory where they were packed. And every crime scene where they took a swab, they were just getting her DNA every time. So they were searching for somebody that didn't exist. And that was the Phantom of Helibron. I guess, again, the clue is in the name there. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the quiz. Thank you very much for tuning in for this first one. There's 34 points in total. You don't have to share your scores if you don't want to. I don't know what's a good score. Anything over 20, I suppose, is a pretty good score there. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. I hope you've had a good time. Do, of course, let me know how you found it. If there's anything you enjoyed or didn't enjoy, love to know. It's good to make sure that we get it right for the next one. So if there's things that you'd like us to do, if you'd like us to keep it around crime or crime fiction, or if you'd like us to branch out into other things, do like a monthly theme and have a crime round based on that theme, give me something to really work on. That'd be great. Or if you'd rather we just didn't come back, you could say that too. Thanks. But no, I've really enjoyed it, and I hope you have too. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a lovely, lovely evening. I shall leave you all now. Take care. Goodbye.